up in the Great Smoky Mountains, I've been testing out the new Campark TC20 4G trail camera. It's very similar to the TC14 4G trail camera I tested over a year ago, which has been out on a tree for over a year and has worked flawlessly. Which is essentially a traditional Campark trail camera with a 4G modem. You just attach the 4G antenna, and you want to keep it as vertical as possible, and it has a port in here for external power or solar power. If you're going to use a 4G camera, I recommend using a solar panel like the one I've been using out here for over a year. And I just changed the batteries after a year just because I don't want to leave the batteries in there more than a year. They might corrode. So let's take a look inside. Here's 8 AA batteries, and you have your micro SD card here, which is limited to 32 gigabytes, which is good if you're going to use it for a 4G camera, because the files that it uploads through the 4G network are pretty small and it'll last a fair amount of time. And you can always look at your files and clear them off remotely from your phone app. And I'll spend most of my time just going over the app on this. The camera is pretty straightforward. The app is really what you look at the data and adjust the camera with. And over here you have your SIM card. And this one comes with EIoT Club SIM card that's included. And it comes with 100 megabytes of data valid for 7 days. You can test it out and then you can select your plan. And I'll talk more about that later. I really like this SIM card. Consistently got a higher signal strength than the Sim Hero card, which I've been using on the other camera for over a year, and it works fine. Now, I don't really have a problem here with 4G coverage. Surprisingly, there's a tower that's not too far from here. But if you're in an area where coverage might be sparse or marginal, then I think that the EIoT Club is going to exceed what the Sim Hero does, because I've consistently got 25 to 30% greater signal strength with this system, which uses the 3 networks of AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. So you just put your SIM card in here in the proper orientation, turn it on, and in this case I'm going to go in here to the cellular modem and turn it on, because I've been using it, I've been testing out just as a trail camera as part of the test. So I've got the cellular modem on, and it'll take it a little bit to connect. So when you go to add your camera to the app, you just scan this QR code into the app on your phone, and it hooks up in a matter of minutes. So we'll go back to the menu. And we'll finish this, and you can see already that it's testing the SIM card and testing my signal. I've already got a signal. It's in the process of going through the steps of establishing communication with the network. There, the SIM card is good. Within a minute or two, you'll see that the little red arrows will turn to white, and you'll know you have good coverage. And there we go. You can see that's in real time just how easy it was to set this up. I had the network off because I was testing as a trail camera. I just turned the network on. And within less than a minute, we got good SIM and good signal strength. And again, when you're uploading video, and I have this set up for photo and video, I'll talk more about that later, it's going to upload 320 horizontal pixel video. So it's going to be a small video, but it'll look fine on your phone. And it'll save a larger image. And so there's your simple status screen. I mean, you can go through and do your initial setup just like you do any trail camera. And the photo and video size that you set up for when you use it as a trail camera is different than when you use it as a cellular camera. So when you get the camera, you download the Camera Trap wireless app on your phone. You scan the QR code, add the camera and scan the QR code. It loads in the camera. And you leave it in setup mode when you're checking everything out. So you can see in setup mode, you can see in real time just how fast everything connected. So you know you're good to go. Then you take it out and where you're going to put it, and you set it up either with the included strap, traditional strap, or a mount. Pretty much the same as in every trail camera. And then when you're done, you set it into the on mode. And it's going to count down to 5, and you'll see auto work mode. You're good to go. snap it up. It's got pretty much very similar to most other trail cameras. It's got a place for a cable lock, a strap mount, tripod mount. It comes with a quick start guide to get you going, and an instruction manual that's fairly thorough, no problems. I mean, I've worked with these cameras before. Now the TC14, which is nearly identical to this, is only available in the European market, and I've been using that for over a year with no problems at all. And this TC20, which uses the EIOT Club SIM card, looks like it would be even better, especially in an area where you have marginal coverage. So I put the TC20 trail camera over on the deck rail and moved it around to set off the motion detection, and I got an alert on the camera. TC20 sent photos and videos. That'll take you to it. There you can see your status screen. You can add in, however many cameras you have. There's the TC20, and there's my hand in front of the picture to trigger it. You go to videos, and you look at your video, and there you see the view off the deck rail. And the app and the 4G network, everything about the camera is pretty basic, and it works fine, reliable. I expect it to be just like the TC14, which is nearly identical, and it's worked over a year. So you just go back there, review of your photos and videos, and now what I'll do next is go into detail on the settings on the phone app and how that works, and a few aspects of the system in general. The whole idea of a 4G trail camera is to be able to monitor it from a remote location. So you're going to use the phone app in most cases to control and review the data on your TC20 4G trail camera. So you install the Camera Trap Wireless app, and then you add the camera by scanning the QR code on the screen on your camera, and that only takes a few minutes. And we'll go through the app. Right here you see I have the new TC20 camera on top, and it's showing the status: battery 100%, signal 75%, and the SD card 98% available. Now you see the TC14 below there, which shows the battery at 100%, but notice that the signal on the Sim Hero is 50%, and the signal on the EIOT card, which has the 3 networks of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, is 75%. And I see that all the time. The newer card that comes with the TC20 has a consistently stronger, in some cases significantly stronger, signal strength. So that's one thing to consider. Okay, so you just click on the camera and you can review what you have on here. These are pictures. The pictures of some elk that passed through the other day, and you can review the videos. And I have this set up to take a picture and a video, so it takes one picture of fairly high resolution, and then it takes a very small video, 360. I think it's 360 by 200 or something like that, but basically it's a small video that goes to your phone and also is saved to the SD card. So you can set it up to get alerts in real time, instant alerts, and you can look at a picture and a little video that comes along with it. As long as you have the cellular modem on and you're using the 4G network, it's just going to send very small videos up for you to review and to save on the disk. And that's really all you want, because you don't want to be paying the data charges that go with the sending large videos over the 4G network. In my case, this particular trail cam, I have it out in the yard overlooking the house up in the mountains, and it's mainly just a security camera for me, just to see what's going on, what animals are passing through, and to see the house. Now the one thing that this camera doesn't have, and it is a nice feature, but it usually comes with more expensive cameras, is a live view, so that you can see live what's going on at any time. Basically you're only going to see something when you get a trigger. So let's go ahead and go quickly through the menu that you control it with. We're going to go to the TC20, click on settings. When you change the settings here and save them, and then you sync it to the camera so that the phone and the camera are on the same settings. And you go to the settings here, capture mode. I have photo plus video. The delay, I have it set at a minimum of 5 seconds. I'm not using the time lapse. Sensitivity, I have it set on high. You can always adjust that as needed, but I have it set on high, especially when I'm testing it. Timer I'm not using, start time, stop time, or I go with the timer. The light intensity, I have it on auto, and it seems to do really well on auto. If you had a situation where you're putting the camera really close to something, you might want to put it on low. Or if you know that you're going to be looking at something that's going to be farther away, you might want to put it on high. But I found that auto works pretty well. The photo settings, I have the photo setting at 24 megapixels. That's when it acts as a trail camera. And the video setting I have set at full HD 1920 by 1080 at 30 seconds. And that's 30 frames per second, which is good, and also have the audio on. But that's the settings when you're using it as a regular trail camera, when you have the cell modem turned off. The wireless settings, you turn the cellular modem on here and you can see it's on. Upload frequency, you can do it once a day, twice a day, whatever, but I like it on instant. What's the point of having a 4G cell cam if you're not going to get instant notification? System settings, you can set it to cycle storage, that way it'll write over data when it gets full. It holds a 32 gigabyte card, but when you're in cellular mode, the files are really quite small with pictures and the short 10-second 320 by 180, I think videos don't take up a whole lot of space. I think each video is about 1 megabyte. So you can get a lot of mileage out of a 32 gigabyte card. But if you've already seen it and you're not going to be able to visit it for a long period of time, you can always set that to overwrite. You can format the card. And so that's really it. It's a pretty simple menu. I mean, if you're using the 4G network to get notified of alerts and they're sending you pictures and videos, there's not a whole lot of things you can change about the videos. You're going to get small videos sent within a few seconds or a minute or so of when they happen. And really the photo quality is pretty good. The small photos that you get instant alert on are certainly sufficient on a smartphone, and then if you want to use it as a regular trail camera, it takes really quite good photos and the videos, but you can set to much longer intervals. I'll show you some examples of that. Have a pretty high bit rate and pretty good color saturation. To summarize my experience over the last 2 weeks with the TC20 Campark 4G trail camera, it works fine. It's basically like so many other Campark trail cameras, the simplicity of the layout and the menus and the addition of 4G modem and the included SIM card of the EIoT Club works fine. Had no problems at all with the camera. It works great as a trail camera, but of course you buy a 4G camera for the 4G remote access. Pictures and videos that are sent up are fine on your smartphone. It's what I consider to be a basic surveillance camera. It does not have live mode. If you think you're going to be uploading a lot of videos from your remote location to your phone, if it's really important, like a sensitive security location, if you want a live view, if you want to be able to pan, tilt, and zoom and something like that, then you might want to consider the Campark TC20 4G camera, which has got a lot more capabilities of live view. Now, of course, with that is going to be a significant increase in your data, and I've got a detailed review on that, and I'll put a link to that in the description of the video.